everybody. JL's Movie Life, Episode 4. Today we're reviewing That's My Boy, the new Adam Sandler movie. I'll get to the review in a second, a little perspective. Adam Sandler, to me, along with Tyler Perry, is sort of the Larry Bird, and they're sort of the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson of shitty movies right now. They're taking it to a whole new level, just dominating in terms of just producing bafflingly successful content that is absolutely awful. Adam Sandler, in the last decade, has literally produced more crappy entertainment than Kris Kardashian's vagina. I got a list here of just some of the ones that popped into my head right away. Little Nicky, who can forget that classic? Grown Ups, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, Jack and Jill, and those are just the ones he starred in, and all of those were just absolutely atrocious movies. But he was also the genius behind Bucky Larson, which achieved a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. And Paul Blart Mall Cop, which is the one movie I think in my entire life I've ever walked out on. It was that bad. It was only like 80 minutes, and about 65 minutes in I just left, and I said, you know what, unless everyone in this movie, both on screen and in real life, dies from some sort of chemical explosion, I can't be bothered with the last 15 minutes. And I came up actually with a list. I realized Adam Sandler has created such an embarrassing legacy. I looked up, he's actually #2 on the anti-defamation villains to the Jewish people list, and the list, I actually looked it up, is at #4 Bernie Madoff, at #3 Ahmadinejad of Iran, at #2 Sandler, okay, that just tells you where he's at, and #1 was Hitler, because, I mean, come on, obviously. But let's get to That's My Boy, okay? Seeing the previews for this, I just assumed it was going to be one of the worst things I'd ever seen. I had good reason to believe that. The previews were terrible. Adam Sandler's track record is almost unprecedented. I almost think there should be a film contest between him and Tyler Perry just to determine who is the worst. And in That's My Boy, he rocks the Boston accent, which hasn't at all been overdone and become annoying. First of all, it's the third most racist accent in the world, after Southern, which is #2, and South African, actually, #1 most racist accent. The Boston accent got Mark Wahlberg an Oscar nomination. That should just tell you it's both easy and irritating. And yet Adam Sandler went with it. And I gotta tell you, 2 wrongs made a right here. It was like Sandler took his awful shittiness and the shitty annoyance of the Boston accent, merged them into one character, and was hysterical. I know, I can't believe it. It's like, do you believe in miracles? This is like a 1980s hockey team, Olympic hockey team, America defeating the Soviets. It's that big a deal to me that I enjoyed this movie. I didn't think it was a great movie, but Adam Sandler fucking carried it. I couldn't believe it. He was hilarious from basically, the movie was funny from the first frame basically, but then when Sandler took over, he was hysterical. The movie, if you don't know, basically is about a kid who gets banged by his teacher when he's 13. The teacher gets pregnant, has the kid, and as you could imagine, a 13-year-old who bangs his teacher turns out to be a terrible father. That's the basic plot of the movie. Andy Samberg plays the boy, the son, grown up. Andy Samberg has always struck me as insulting as this is, an uglier, less talented Adam Sandler. Now, given what I've just said about Adam Sandler, I don't think I need to delve into any more description of Andy Samberg, and he's just okay. But the movie is about Sandler, and I gotta tell you, he's pretty funny. You know, and I think the movie had an R rating, and that might have helped. Maybe Sandler just needed his stupid humor to just have the PG and PG-13 shackles taken off, so he could really just become full-on vulgar and really embrace the stupidity, because it works. It's not a great movie, but he is very funny, and I'd say it's worth a rental, or it's worth a you know, watching on TV, but you know, with all the curses. Don't watch it on basic cable. So I would give this an A-, but not on the JL Movie Life scale. On the Adam Sandler, good for you, you're special, you take a short bus, awful, but we're proud of you anyway scale. But on a real movie scale, I'd give it a B-, which is still a miracle. So that's it. All right. Next week, reviewing the new Pixar movie Brave. So thank you, and have a good week.
Wanna get the feeling, gotta get the feeling, gonna get the feeling once again. Wanna get the feeling, gotta get the feeling, gonna get the feeling once again.